There you go, start again there.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to you all from here. The sun hasn't quite come in this morning yet through the clouds, but we're sure it will do. Going to give you all a shout out this morning again. So, good morning, Anthony, Brian, Jude, Marie, Anne, Jean, Ruth, Catherine, Jill, Andrea, Margaret, Keith, Christine, Liz, Blaze, Chris, done Jean, haven't I? David, Ruth, Blaze, Liz, done Jude. Is it?
They're in.
They're all in. Yeah.
They're all telling us there's no sound.
But we've just worked that out.
I don't see how...
One morning I say to Paul...
That perplexes me, that does.
I say to Paul, have you turned off the microphone?
You switch the microphone off and then you unmute it, and 99% of the time
He does it on purpose. Thank you, Margaret. He probably does. She knows you well. Good morning to you all. It's lovely to be here from the Hollies. You can see what I'm putting up with, folks. So, it's great to be here this morning. I received my prize yesterday. It's amazing cake. This gentleman left it on the wall. I was there, don't worry. I didn't just leave it randomly. Fantastic chocolate cake. So
all because you did a miniature scarecrow.
Because I did a miniature scarecrow. So the moral to that tale, folks, is always have a go. Good morning, Sarah.
Is that the moral to the tale? Have a go.
Have a go. You never know.
Join in.
I can't remember the last time I won anything. I never win anything.
Well, there you go.
I'm just not.
You won my heart, baby.
I did. I won your heart. Yeah, but I don't win anything. I'm not a winner. I'm a take-a-parter. But there you are. There you are. There you just shows you it's worth taking. I didn't take part, but I won. But there you are, and I got my prize. So we're going to enjoy that at the weekend. Share it with the family. Socially distanced, obviously, so I will put that on a stick. And
you mentioning Matthew's birthday again?
No,
he's not in this morning anyway.
No, he's not. He's in Scotland.
He's driving up to Scotland today.
Yeah,
he's got the delivery in Scotland.
Are they unlocked now in Scotland? Are they allowed?
No, I don't know.
Shame.
Nicola Sturgeon's is around thing.
I don't know about that. Smooth. I am smooth, Blaze. God, I love to be smooth. Right. Good morning to you all. We've got quite an interesting, challenging text this morning, but as you know, we love a challenging text.
We often have challenging texts.
So, Paul, would you like to read it for us?
Well,
to say
it is from Psalm 119, and for those scholars, I'm sure you know, I think it's one of the things I remember learning in Sunday school. Psalm 119, the longest chapter in the Bible.
Did you?
Longest chapter in the Bible. Obviously, the longest psalm then, because of that. Nearly 170, I forgot what it is now, 174 verses, something like that.
Oh, so impressed with
Goes
your
over
mother.
pages.
Wow.
Pages of it. I don't know if it was Mother or Uncle Michael. But we're reading this morning just one verse. Blessed are those, verse 2 it is. Blessed are those who keep his statutes and seek him with all their hearts. Blessed are those who keep his statutes and seek him with all their hearts.
Wow.
Yes. You see, as soon as I read that this morning, I straight away into negative thoughts were coming into my head immediately of we don't want to repeat ourselves. It's that the second part of that is repeating stuff we've recently been talking about all our hearts. Seek him with all their hearts. And I thought
we have talked
a lot about seeking God. But actually, when you read, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not read the whole of Psalm 119, but when you read on, or you read right through the first part of it, because it's split into sections, it's about serving God, being a servant. It's all about opening our eyes to God. Do not hide your commands to me. My soul is consumed, longing for your laws and all your times. It goes on and on about being closer to God, about looking to God and thinking about God. But obviously at the beginning of this chapter it talks primarily about his statutes, his commandments.
Keeping his commandments. Well, when I heard that, I said, I'll go and look up the commandments, which I did. So I've got them. And I thought, I'm not sure that we we focus much on the commandments these days, do we?
Don't say a lot about it, do we? We know they're there.
So I'll read them to you. Remind you of dry cough. So the 10 Commandments are: you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make idols. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honour your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness to your neighbour, and you shall not covet. And I think that's the framework to which we should be living our lives by.
Well, Jesus obviously expands, doesn't he? He expands that when he's asked by the Pharisees, I want to say. I think I'm right in saying so. I have to be careful. We've got people who check everything, double check what we say, and make sure we get it right. Because we do make mistakes.
7 o'clock in the morning, we make mistakes. Wow.
But anyway, I believe it was the Pharisees. They challenged Jesus to say, "And which is the greatest commandment?"
Yeah.
And of course, the beginning is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, body, mind, soul, and that is what this is about.
Yeah, we should have no other God but you.
Yeah. To look at God, to be consumed completely.
Yeah.
By God.
And I was talking to you, because I was talking to you a little bit about the work that I was doing in chaplaincy, and really I was making reference to those people I've worked with outside the church who don't have any sort of framework to which to live their life by, because we almost take this for granted, those of us who've been brought up in the church, and those who've also been brought up with having a positive parenting as well. I mean, honour your mother and your father is in there. But I've worked in prisons with people that have been brought up in the care system and brought up without any sort of faith structure. And for those people, they have nothing. They have a clean sheet of nothing at all to hang their lives on. And for them, there's, why shouldn't I steal? Why shouldn't I? If somebody's got something I want it, why shouldn't I have it? And we almost take for granted these very basic rules by which we live our life. This is our framework, isn't it, by which we live our lives. But we almost forget that if you've not been brought up by a good parenting framework, or have a faith system by which we are trying to live, and you always say, you say more than anybody else.
What?
Yeah. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all fail, and we fail continually.
No, I'm not trying to bring up our shortcomings.
No, but we do, don't we? We fail, but we are
all have fallen short.
All have fallen short of the glory of God, but we are trying, And what is the framework by which we are trying to live our lives by? And the commandments, and then following on from that, the way that Jesus taught us to live as disciples is the framework by which we are trying to live. And then hopefully we've had a good parental structure of how to also live, to be kind to one another as well, combined into that. You take those away and you have nothing by an example by which to live.
It's an example, but isn't it a willingness of the heart as well, though? Isn't it? It's a desire and a want to as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we have laws of the land that if we don't follow, there are consequences too, aren't there?
You'll be punished, yeah.
So, you do something that's the way you break the law, then there's a resulting punishment, whether it's whatever it may be. Yeah. But here, we're talking about a desire of the heart. I said it the other day, but I have a desire to make sure. I have a desire to want to make you happy, to make sure, so you are fulfilled in what you do, and to back you up and to be with you, and to encourage you along the way of whatever we're doing and how we're doing it.
Yeah.
And that needs to be more so our desire as Christians, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That there's a framework, but you can have law where it's military. It's
yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
This is
so it's very military laid out, but But you can have a heart to want to do that as well,
Yeah.
though. Instead of being, you will have to do this because,
Yeah.
or you're doing it because I want to do it.
That's right. Well, there's a line, isn't there? There's a line between this, what Moses set out was for a people, a people's. This is what God has said, but there is always a choice in that. And the choice is when you accept God into your heart, you then, this is what God desires of you, but actually the choice is yours. So that's what you're talking about. This is the when God and when Christ ultimately through salvation and Christ coming into your heart, the choice is yours. You know in your head, what God would like of you, or commands of you, or what language you want to put to that. But actually, ultimately, how that's played out through your heart and your actions is a choice. And that's the fruits of the Spirit, isn't it? Coming through you, whether you manifest that in your words and your actions. So, and that's where the blessed bit comes in, when it says, "Blessed are those who keep His statutes." Blessed, not another word is blessed. Blessed are those, because you are blessed if you actually do that. Not correct are those, or top of the class are those. You're not going to get a certificate because you've achieved. It's blessed. It's a different sort of word. You are blessed if you've done that, because you've allowed that love to come through your heart, and that's why you've done it. Not because you've been forced, not because someone's got a knife to your throat. So that's why you've done it. And I think there's some, you see it on Facebook now and again. It's like, and I made reference to my dad before. It's something like, you have to answer to yourself, look yourself in the mirror. It's the same sort of thing about, the standard by which you need to live. It's like, how do you behave when nobody else is there?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's a good, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How do you treat, how, if nobody else is in the room, how do you then behave?
Yeah.
And that's the real marker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not in front of somebody, but when you're alone.
Yeah. What do you say behind closed doors?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So, in a way, we have a public appearance, a public.
Yeah.
But do we still have the same thoughts and speak out the same things when
nobody's watching,
when
or nobody knows
quiet?
what you're doing? There's something in Matthew, I think, isn't it? It's about you should give in secret to the poor, or it's not about your being seen to
not
be
being outward. Yes, not,
yeah.
You do. You send your tithes and the offerings should be which should be in secret, like fasting. If you're doing a fast, you don't go out and broadcast what you're doing. You do it between you and God.
Yeah.
And likewise, God, and this is God's knowing your heart. Knowing your heart. Examine your heart. Examine exactly where you are in your relationship to God. And God knows. We can't hide it from Him.
No.
And He's not here, and He's not trying to condemn us to it either. It's an encouraging word to move on with Him. Because there's one thing about our relationships is that they don't just stay stationary. They don't, because anything that stays still that long festers and just withers and goes. So our relationship needs to be a growing relationship, like our own personal relationship.
Yeah.
It needs to be a growing relationship with God. And if you actually if you look at your life and your relationship with God, and it's the same today as it was 10 years ago, or when you became a Christian, then you're missing something somewhere. Because our hearts should be turned to God in such a way that we are growing with Him. And learning more of Him, and allowing Him in to all the parts, so that we all have the thoughts and the feelings that then afterwards we wish we hadn't had. So we might say there's something goes off in our head, something happens, and you have a negative thought about it, or you just say something, you think, I wish I'd not said that. That wasn't God. I wasn't very God. Thinking about that,
no.
But our hearts changing toward God and growing towards God is a goal that we should all, as Christians, be aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So not that the so not that we're commanded to do things, but to do it through love. to do it through a want, to do it through, I want to get to know you more. You know, when you meet your partner, when you meet your other half of your life, and we say, you know, it's a cliche, but we say, you know, you're the other half of me. You make me whole, and that's how God is. God makes us whole, complete, totally complete, when we ever turn a heart to Him and look to Him.
Yeah, and this is the standard by which, as God as a parent has set the standard. This is how I want you to be. I realise that you're not going to get it right every time. I'm not going to knock down a coconut every time, but this is the standard. Off you go. But He's in relationship, you know. And you're right, because in our relationship, you know, I probably start. I love, you know. I said to you yesterday, I love you more today than I loved you yesterday, and I didn't think that was possible. And you know, I love you more in the corners, you know, because I'll be in a different room you don't know, and you're having a conversation with the dog, you know, and it's those little things. And you know, I catch you doing things when you don't know I'm there, far more than when I see you doing something and you know that I'm there. Do you know what I mean? It's those quiet times when I watch you do something when you don't know I'm there. And this is like this. It's when, I think, when God sees us doing stuff when nobody's there.
We're not doing
on
it
show.
to show.
We're not doing it to say, oh, look at me. Look at me, because I'm that. It's not. It's when actually nobody else is there, nobody else knows, and we're still doing it because actually we've got a heart for it. And that's how I draw closer to you when you don't know that I'm watching you. Not that I'll go around the house sneaking on you.
Well, so a bit of a reflective song I thought this morning. I love this song. I think it's a fantastic song. I think the words are amazing. So if you don't know it, just look at the words, follow the words, and see what God says to you through it this morning.
Broken at your feet, like an alabaster jar. Every piece of who I am laid before your majesty. I will bow my life at your feet, at your feet. My lips, so lost for words, will kiss your feet, kiss your feet. Yeah. your feet. Oh, I will bow my life at your feet, at your feet. My lips, so lost for words, will kiss your feet, kiss your feet.
Am I praying? I'm praying. Okay. Come, Holy Spirit, come. Come and surround us, enfold us, be within us today. Be with each and every one of us as we face this new day. Be with all of those who need you, and you know our hearts, Lord. So be with us this day. Heal the brokenhearted, heal those who are sick, and strengthen those who are facing the day. Be with all those who are alone. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, another morning.
Another morning. Have a wonderful day, folks, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe. And we will see you again tomorrow.
We will. All being well.
It's goodbye from him.
Goodbye from John.
Goodbye from John, who's been with us all morning, and all the animals have shared this service with us.
Yeah, all around the feet. Bless you all. Love you. See you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.